Well, here we are at Canada's Dinosaur Park.
We always seem to get the overcast days when we go on these day trips. Okay, this is twice so far, but it's a bad precedent. At least it meant it wasn't as hot as it would be with the sun out. As it turns out, the primary purpose of Canada's Dinosaur Park isn't the dinosaurs. It's the non-profit Reptile Sanctuary and Wildlife Officer Training Center. The dinosaurs are mostly there to lure tourists in to supply funding for the Reptile Sanctuary. To be fair, this totally worked. The initial day trip idea had been to find a dinosaur park. That there were live reptiles, and a good cause, was a bonus. Established in 1998 and becoming a non-profit charity in 2009, the Reptile Sanctuary houses over 200 reptiles. We didn't get to see them all. The reptiles take turns being on display to give them some time off to reduce stress. And, to be clear, this is a reptile sanctuary, not a pet store, rehabilitation center, or breeding facility. These animals are all ones that, for one reason or another, can't be returned to the wild. The sanctuary gives them a place to live out the rest of their lives in climate-controlled comfort, tended by experts. What did my head in was that all the reptiles here started in the pet trade and were either rescued or surrendered, and often are endangered species seized by wildlife officers. Allow me to introduce you to some poor life choices. This is a puff adder, a species from Africa. Its venom is cytotoxic, meaning it will kill your cells. It is unlikely to kill you, only a 10% chance, but the pain is severe and may lead to necrosis. This is a green mamba. While not as aggressive or deadly as a black mamba, they tend to strike swiftly and repeatedly, and an untreated bite will kill you 7 times out of 10. These are black mambas. Like the green mambas, they are from Africa. They are large, they are aggressive, and they have the fastest acting snake venom that we know of, a potent neurotoxin. You will die of suffocation when your respiratory muscles become paralyzed.
There were also assorted cobras, who were all hiding in their containments rather than being photogenic, so I didn't get any footage of them.
Reticulated pythons I can understand as pets. They're pretty, they're fairly slow-moving, and they're generally chill. The problem is that they're also one of the few snakes that eat humans. Once they get up to 6 meters long or so, you are too small to handle the snake alone, as well as conveniently prey-sized. And I get it with the tortoises. Who doesn't want a giant boulder wandering around their backyard? But this is an African spurred tortoise, an endangered species. It should be making other tortoises, not mowing your lawn. Even when not endangered, Ontario isn't a climate to keep a tortoise happy.
And now we come to some of my favorite reptiles, the crocodiles.
I won't spend too long on the crocodiles. I love crocodiles so much that they deserve their own video. But I will introduce you to the ones we met here. We only got to see these 3 that were hanging around outside, as the indoor exhibition was having some maintenance done and we couldn't go in. This is a Cuban crocodile. From Cuba, obviously. Also critically endangered. Stop taking endangered animals home. You're not helping. This is a Nile crocodile. While a thriving species in no danger of extinction, they do not belong in your house. This is an American crocodile, not to be confused with an American alligator. While all crocodiles have salt glands that allow them to tolerate salt water, the American crocodile is one of only 2 species that thrives in it, the other being the saltwater crocodile.
Yes, the sanctuary does have a saltwater crocodile. We didn't get to see it because it was hanging out indoors. But the initial purpose of this trip was to see dinosaurs. The dinosaurs I will show you.
Many of the dinosaurs were animatronic, moving their heads, arms, and tails, sometimes with speakers nearby to give the illusion of roaring. Some of the dinosaurs were feathered, but not all. I don't know if this is a case of different artists with different visions, or more accurate sculptures being made as more is learned about them. There are a wide variety of dinosaurs, from the famous Tyrannosaurus rex to the lesser-known Allosaurus, a type of therizinosaur, which I am drawing attention to because the face is delightfully spooky. And there were other prehistoric reptiles that are not dinosaurs, but tend to get lumped in with them. They are also cool. There were a lot of tyrannosaurs, from full size to fun size. One even had feathers. We really liked the expression on this one. He is so done with everything. Despite the unusual amount of tyrannosaurs, all the 5 major clades were represented. The sauropods didn't get too much, being so large, but there was a full-size brachiosaur and some smaller ones that may have been juveniles or just scaled down. The ornithopods were primarily represented by various parasaurolophuses, including one we're a bit iffy about the crest of, but it does look cool, and hadrosaurs aren't my speciality. There were stegosaurs and ankylosaurs to represent the Thyreophora, the armored dinosaurs. There were a few ceratopsids and pachycephalosaurs for the Marginocephala. You know, since they're bipeds, I never really realized that the pachycephalosaurs were that closely related to the ceratopsids. It's the heavy-duty skull that ties them together. And of course, there were theropods in plenty, including this small Suchomimus, and this velociraptor that waits in the trail to surprise guests, and a Carnotaurus. I just think they're neat. There are 2 trails, a walking trail and one for cars. We were on the walking trail, so we couldn't get good shots of many of the dinosaurs on the car trail, such as the big Spinosaurus that was either head-on or hiding behind a tree, depending on the angle. Though there was a smaller one for our Spinosaurus needs. There was a little museum that had proper fossils rather than just models, mostly eggs and claws and other small bits, but I was there for the models. While the enclosures were only slightly less secure than the ones in Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs in Canada's Dinosaur Park were much better behaved. Except this one, which ate people. Of course, my favorites were the full-size big ones. It's nice to be able to see their faces up close, but I prefer to experience the sheer immensity of these extinct creatures. Skeletons alone don't give you the same sense of presence. Seeing them with skin makes them more real, proper animals that existed once, and not just a display in a museum. To my continued delight, there were also giant bugs. This place was basically made for me, and I only discovered it because a friend of mine in another country had gone to a dinosaur park and put the idea in my head. What were the models made of? A damaged or under construction model gave us a clue. It looks to be rubber over foam over scaffolding.
The staff were friendly and helpful, answering our questions and telling us stories about the various reptiles that lived there. The washrooms were excellent, clean and well stocked. You may laugh, but washrooms are important. There was, of course, a gift shop, which, by the time we had returned to, I had run out of battery for my camcorder, so I didn't get any footage of it. But I did get this model mosasaur. All in all, we spent about 4 hours wandering around, chatting to the guides, finding new dinosaurs around every turn of the path. So, all in all, it was a very good day.